Okay, here we are. It's episode 7. As you may notice, it's got a full interior. It actually runs and drives. So I kind of stopped filming and I just put my head down and I got this done. I really wanted to get it done before some of the nicer days were up, before it got too hot to drive in without the AC, and also wanted to give myself plenty of time to work out some of the kinks that the vehicle might show. You know, being a fresh build from the ground up, you just don't know if everything's going to play nice together or what you missed. So yeah, I did a lot since the last video, and in fact I even lost some of the filming that I had done. I think I've got a little bit left of finishing up the exhaust. I have some videos from it first driving and a few pictures that I can show from when I was doing the interior. You know, after driving it, I've taken it to a couple shows, tinkered with it quite a bit. It does have some issues that need fixed. So, I also got an alignment, I got new tires. But yeah, it's got some issues that need fixed. I'll show you around some of the completed stuff, like the interior. I do want to show that off, and then I'll just talk about what I got going on, how we're going to fix it, hopefully. So, here we go, episode 7. Well, we got some work to do on these doors before they go on the car. As you can see, they're pretty dirty and beat up. I mean, this was the state of this car before I started on it. I mean, a lot of the interior looked like this. A lot of the exterior looked like this. It's rust. So it's come a long way. And you may wonder why I invested the time in this car if it looked like this. Well, first of all, got it cheap. I think I paid $500 for this car. It did come from Washington State originally, so a lot of this rust you see was just surface rust. There was really only one hole in the entire car, passenger side floorboard, that needed patched. The rest of the stuff, when I looked at it, I was like, well, you know, I can fix that. That's just, you clean that up and paint it. So that's where we're at. That's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, the door, before I can get those doors on, these need to be fixed up. I got lots of stuff that can make this look a lot nicer. You know, overall, the seals are actually not in bad shape either. I think that was one good thing about coming from a state like Washington rather than like a state like Texas or Florida, where the sun would beat on these seals a ton. The donor GTI that I got, which, by the way, I paid $800 for that. The seals were so dry because it came from Florida. And it was actually rust-free as well, but it had been hit in the front. So, and once we get those rebuilt, I was going to be ready to go on here. But we've got to paint these door jambs. So, as you can see, I've already prepped and sanded them pretty good. They're ready for some primer. Paint these back window jambs as well before that goes together. And then one other thing I want to do is this rail here. It's going to get some healthy rubberized undercoating so that they don't get rusted up, getting beat up by rocks and stuff. Actually, even though these are going to be underskirts, I just want to make sure that they're nice and protected. I'm going to take that up just a little bit right here as well to keep that from this corner and stuff from getting beat up by rocks. And it'll just help sound deaden a little bit on that corner as well. Just like the arches. The arches have factory rubberized undercoating on them. You can see that there, that textured finish. The underside of the vehicle has that as well. I'm just going to carry it on a little bit here into these rockers. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. So that's about all I have left of the videos of painting, but here's a few pictures. As you can see, it turned out really nice. I was really pleased with the results, and was able to move on with the doors, which I don't have much of that either. I've got these pictures here of them kind of done, and then I started putting the door panels and things back on them. Here's the door panels finished with like a suede-like material, and then you can see the seats. They had some rips in them and they were a little beat up, but I took a spare set I had, took them apart and swapped in another passenger side to make them complete. Also got them all cleaned up and repaired, got them put back in the vehicle with some red seat belts. In the end, it turned out pretty nice. I'm really happy with the interior of this vehicle. And now onto the exhaust. All right, so it's kind of a mess under here. I haven't filmed a whole lot because filming underneath the car kind of sucks, but I've got the catalytic converter welded in, the flange right there. Heat shield is facing up to keep heat from reaching things like the motor mounts and fuel lines and stuff. I've also added an additional heat shield right there between the flex pipe and the catalytic converter, again, just to reduce heat that is going to heat soak the motor mounts and things like that. So that was a little difficult to get positioned just right and weld in. Again, this is why I didn't film that part, because it was just a little tricky. And we got the exhaust hanger welded on as well to a factory exhaust mount. And then we've got this straight pipe here that I've added a flange to, and I've got it lined up. And then right now, get that light out of the way. Right now, I have the resonator resting on this jack stand to get it lined up perfectly. I'm about to hit it with some tack welds. Let's see. Sorry, I got the light shining right on it. But I'm about to hit this with some tack welds. Just make sure everything's lined up perfectly. So that's what I'm gonna do now, and then I'm gonna start doing the bins that go around the tank. Right there. Over the axle, meet with the muffler that I already have. So I'm gonna need to tack these in. I'm gonna need to cut this pipe a little shorter, and then get those bins in. So I'm going to make sure that right now that's lining up right. So I'm gonna get the bins out and kind of just lay them out so that I can see how that looks. So one of the reasons why I bought this used muffler is because of it came off of a Swift. So the hangers are in the correct spots, and I've actually even got this that's aimed directly where I need it to go. So my thought was that it would kind of give me something to aim towards, especially in the difficult area of the rear suspension, and trying to get it around that. So I thought, if I get something that was working on a Swift, then I know that if I aim towards this, that everything should clear just fine. And it really does line up really well. This straight, if I get it straight on, it's almost dead perfect in the car. So I'm gonna give it a tack now with some pour markings that I made where I think it should line up. And I'm gonna fit it in the car with the tacks on it to make sure that those are good. And then do any adjusting that needs to be done, and then finish up the welds. So give that a shot. It's gonna be a little more difficult because this is a butt weld. See, it's easy to burn through on butt welds. I'll turn down the heat a little bit when we go to actually finish the welds. All right, I'll see how it fits. All right, so I really do think that getting that exhaust was the right choice because, like you see, this is a tricky spot. You gotta make it around this control arm, gotta make it around this sway bar here, gotta clear the coil there, clear the body up there. So if we get this exhaust right where it's supposed to be lined up after we tack welded that, it's perfect. I mean, we've got clearance everywhere. Clearance to the coil spring. So, good move, made things a lot easier. Okay, so one thing that I kind of planned is that, we'll move this back a little bit farther. Light here. Okay, so this is the exhaust flange, and as you see, this side of the tube passes right through it. So we can bolt them together, and that side of the exhaust is actually slip fit. So this side will slip fit into that, but then the flange will stop perfectly against that exhaust, and then we can weld it right where we want it with these bolted together. We could tack weld this side right here, and we take it back to the bandsaw and we cut off what's left, and it'll make a perfect setup, hopefully. I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. All right, we got most of it in. Looking good. Want to give you a little bit closer look of how the back looks because I didn't really show that too closely. But we have clearance everywhere that we need it. And those line up perfect once they're bolted down. So that's what I'm going to do now. And there you have it. Got it out. Got it all welded. I'm going to fit it up permanently and finally get to hear how it sounds without just an open header. So, time to get it all fitted. So yeah, it's a cool interior. I probably left off last time saying for the 10th time that I need to get these doors painted, and as you can see, they are painted. They came out really good. The door jambs all done. Can't remember if I have video of that still. That might be what I lost, but the door panels I've recovered with Alcantara-like material that kind of matches this pinstriping that's on the factory seats. So I did the backs as well, and the seats in the back are a little less faded, so you can kind of see how the color matches a little bit more. Got some seat belts that are red. They always come out in pictures brighter than they are. In real life, they are quite close in color actually to the seats. It's interesting how they come out brighter. I think it's because like the reflective material that they're made of. Anyways, got some floor mats that I've made. Pretty decent interior. A little bit of fading going on the dash, but it's, you know, not bad for the age. It's 35 years old now. So the radio is temporary. It's got like a system in it, a small system, tweeters, and some larger speakers in the back, and just have a small subwoofer. But the radio face is temporary. I want to go with something a little more period correct. Working on some cup holder designs with 3D printer. Had the seats repaired. They were starting to split here at the seams. Had those sewn up. Came out really good. The seats are really good condition. So yeah, I'll show you the back. Got this nice hat tray. Trunk area is really nice. whole exterior together. The exhaust came out really nice. Put on some of this carbon trim that I had. All this stuff came out really good. The back glass I think is temporary until I find a better condition. Still have to do this trim here. Those are really hard to find. New tires. I do really enjoy these tires. They are Michelin Pilot Exalto PE2s. They're a vintage redesigned tire for the modern era, as they say. So they're 240 tread wear. They've got a nice all-season design that is, reminiscent of like old Pilot Sport 2s and stuff. So they're really good for this car. I could go with a 200 tread wear rating probably, but I think these will work out really well for it. They're already working pretty well for it. So yeah, got the whole front on. I got the GTS headlight covers on and actually had them tinted as well. Yellow, I think I like that look. So I still have a body kit that needs to go on this with the fender flares, and working on a splitter soon for it. All in due time on those. I'm going to be getting that done this winter. That's less of a priority than it is to drive the vehicle. So yeah, like I said, this is running and driving at the moment. Some of the issues I've had is just getting it idling well, and also being able to support electrical load. That's been really the main issue. Idling is not difficult, but then when the fan kicks on, when the wipers are on, when the headlights are on, it wants to stall out. And it has to do with this valve here, and tuning it for that is really tricky. Reading the FSM, it has some conflicting information, and things aren't reacting the way I'm expecting it to, based on the FSM. So I've gotten it close enough. It does okay. It's not perfect. Some of the issue has to do with my throttle body, which is not factory, and the air adjustment screw is not supposed to be adjusted, which doesn't really matter for this because it's a different throttle body. TPS adjustment, trying to get that on. Taking the cold start valve off to make sure that wasn't an issue. Just all sorts of stuff with tunability. Face some timing issues, a little bit of fueling issues with the eManage blue that we have in there. Getting a little bit of pinging, kind of spark knock at certain RPMs, and messing with that. And that may have all led to the issue I'm having now, which is it kind of started to have some drivability issues again. It was not overheating necessarily, but it was getting hot way quicker than it used to. And the fan is keeping it nice and cool, but it was overflowing into here before it would cool down, and started having a little bit of new idling issues. Hard to start it, hard to keep it going at first. I started to get a belt squeal that actually had nothing to do with the tension of the belt, it seemed. And then I just wanted to check on the thermostat, so make sure that there was nothing wrong with it getting stuck, open, closed, whatever. So checking on the thermostat, checked out good, but when I lost all that coolant, I had to add coolant back in, and during the procedure of burping it, it actually was shooting coolant out of the radiator cap, all the way up to the hood. It was going high, especially when cranking. After the engine was running, it would shoot out a little bit, but not quite as high as it would when it was cranking. And of course, not being able to get coolant in it and get it burped, it would started overheating now all the time. I couldn't keep it cool because I just couldn't get enough coolant in it, because it would, shoot all the coolant out, which is obviously a problem. The overheating is not really the problem. The problem was that the coolant system was being overpressurized, and that's where we were having the belt squeal that was coming when we were starting it. Combustion pressure exhaust is forcing its way into the coolant system past the water pump and spinning the water pump blades the opposite direction of the engine cranking direction, causing the belt to slip on the water pump pulley on initial startup. And then that combustion was pressurizing the fuel system, forcing it out of the radiator cap, but also forcing it into the overflow tank, and thus losing all of our coolant, and that's what led to the overheating issues. So as a temporary fix, I've taken the thermostat out. I've been able to fill up the coolant system with water for now, and I torqued down the head gasket bolts just a little bit more. And that has kind of gotten me able to drive it for a little bit longer while I get ready to do this. I still don't want to do it this kind of thing this soon. There's still plenty of time this year to drive and enjoy this and take it to shows. I don't really want to take it apart right now, but I have to. I'll check on this head gasket and make sure that it is just the head gasket. Hopefully you don't have a cracked head or a cracked block or anything like that. So that's where we're at. We're going to upgrade to head studs and an MLS gasket while we're in there. I don't think that the OEM head gasket was really the issue, or that the head bolts were the issue. I think with all the tuning I was doing, I think that at times we were running some pre-ignition. We were running too high of compression from the timing being off, or just I think too much fuel at times. All these things have contributed to this head gasket failure. And also, I'm starting to have hydraulic lifter noise. So this engine is not new. It was lower mileage. It was a good running engine. It's got good compression. So all I did was reseal the whole thing up and put it in. So, I need to do some lifter rebuilds on it to take care of that as well. So, I just think it's a good time anyways to do all this. It should take me 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, I could do this in a couple days, but I'm gonna take my time with it now. So that's where I'm at. I'll show you a little bit of how I got here, like I said, with the exhaust that I finished up, the vehicle running and driving, and a little bit of the interior, and then we're gonna get to this. Alright, got the exhaust manifold out of there, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see, hopefully, maybe, yeah, that catalytic converter is toast. It is burnt. It is floating around in there. Let's see if I can. Let's listen, maybe. Yep. That was probably causing some issues too. That was probably creating a lot of back pressure. If it would get jammed in there. Oh, I can't turn the. Maybe I can do this. Nope. Let's do. Ah, there we go. Yeah. No good. Gonna have to get that out of there. I don't really want to re-weld this, so I'm probably just gonna knock that out and deal with it. So I think we're at to the moment of pulling this off. So I'm going to pull the valve cover off. I want to pull the head bolts out, and I'm gonna take this off. So let's get to it. Well, it looks fine.